Hey folks, it's the Dove. Let's talk about some games that are coming out soon. Let's start off with a retro style game that is dear to my heart. Yes, the original reason I started playing this game when I was a kid was because I thought it was funny when they showed their butts when they showered. But after that childish humor wore off, I noticed a beat 'em up game that had a lot more to it than most. I was an idiot child, and grown up for that matter. River City Ransom was ahead of its time as they tried to meld in a lot of RPG elements to the game, like choice, inventory, and player progression. As we have seen more recently, a lot of games, especially in the action genre, adopting RPG elements into their games. Releasing on October 12th of 2023, River City Rivals Showdown looks to recreate those old school vibes while nailing down all the other game mechanic elements that we love. It is a remake of River City Ransom X, which was a remake of the original with additional content. So this is like Data from Star Trek, the third rendition of the same idea with improvements each time, all while not just making a sequel. Some additional content: the game is adding Double Dragon Duel Mode, which is a fighting game, either one or two players. It also is adding a co-op mode you can play online with your retro buddies. Check it out on October 12th on PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. I want to make a real quick mention about the Batman Arkham trilogy making its way to the Switch. I am not a Switch owner, but making this amazing trilogy available to as many gamers as possible is something to talk about. All games have the internal struggle to make the right balance between a powerful character and a challenging game. Superhero games have an even harder time with this. They really have to make the characters seem as powerful from all their stories while staying away from just making you feel completely overpowering. I go back to these games often, even still today, and I am happy it is getting a port for the Switch community. Become Batman in 3 unforgettable games as you go from the not-so-friendly confines of Arkham Asylum in the first to the entire city of Gotham in the next 2. These games are just entirely too much fun for Batman fans. Gliding through the air, shooting your grappling hook, or driving around in the Batmobile, there is so much fun for us nerds to have. If you are a Switch owner and haven't played this yet, grab it on October 13th. If you have watched any of my previous Undisputed videos, you might gather I am a bit of a boxing fan. You may also observe I am not the biggest fan of EA Sports. Actually, judging by my view count, you probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyways, I don't care for EA Sports, Dana White, or the horrible setup the UFC has for its competitors. Any capitalistic society should recoil in protest to the UFC's setup. In fact, there is a current class action lawsuit against the UFC from former fighters in the courts.
Centers on allegations that MMA's top promotion abuses its market power in an effort to suppress fighter wages.
And am I crazy? Why would I ever want to get involved in this corrupt, insane, up sport?
I am a fighting sports fan. I respect all MMA fans and even more so its competitors. UFC 5 looks almost exactly like UFC 4 and 3 for that matter. The big claim to fame is that UFC is finally being brought to the Frostbite engine. You know, that horrible gaming engine that has killed the juggernaut video game franchise known as Madden. Not that Unity is the best, but I only hate them because they are greedy bitches. Their engine works well in Undisputed. Back to UFC 5. It could be great, but with the waning popularity of EA Sports and the overcomplicated controls, I don't have much faith in it being as great as it could be. For UFC fans, I understand the love of a game, others don't. And if some game does a halfway decent job of emulating that sport, that game can be immensely fun. I just don't have faith in EA Sports to improve their games enough to make a difference for their user rather than the shareholders. The improvements to this year's game, animations, clothing, and braided hair choices. Yes, that is a big feature for the game according to their press release. You have to wonder why they didn't upgrade their engine to Frostbite in 2017 when Madden did. UFC 3 and 4 were both released after Madden switched to the supposedly better engine. Just not good enough to switch over the only fighting sports title EA had active. I hope for UFC fans that this one is better than Madden has been, and EA finally focuses on, ironically, the love fighting games require. And I'm sure all the UFC fans are very excited to see that 2 of the 3 special characters are from boxing. That's right, Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson are special characters this year. I heard next year's Madden will feature Giannis Antetokounmpo and LeBron James, and next year's golf game by 2K will feature Michael Jordan. Oh, wait. UFC 5 will be out on October 27th for Xbox Series and PlayStation 5. I am split on the next title as I am a huge RoboCop fan. As a kid, I was hooked with the over-the-top sci-fi meets action that my parents didn't want me to see. Now, as an adult, I would love to jump into the shoes of Alex Murphy for a great action RPG, but it might be an impossible task. RoboCop is pretty much overpowering in each of the movies until the very end. Outside of an oversized Roomba, RoboCop just tears through enemies like tissue paper. So much like we talked about with the Arkham trilogy, the balance is oh so important. Will the game just be a power fantasy the whole time with no challenge? Or will it make RoboCop more brittle than he was in the movies? Either way might not sit too well with gamers if the balance isn't perfect. Too easy, and gamers won't always enjoy or respect it. Make RoboCop go down after a few bullets, and he is no longer RoboCop. He is just some cyborg with shitty armor. If they can strike the right balance with this one, I am in. In fact, I am in regardless. The gameplay footage reveals a game that looks a lot like Cyberpunk, with its combat style and the implant overview that helps target and isolate objects of interest. If the combat is good and the storyline is interesting, we could have a sleeper gem like Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. If the storyline and combat balance suck, this will just be another game to heap into the pile of overpriced first-person shooters. Time will tell. And the time this is released is November 2nd for PC, Xbox Series, Switch, and PS5. There are so many games coming out in the next couple months, I barely scratched the surface. But let me know what you guys are excited about down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already to get more videos just like this. Don't forget to check out 2hatsandabeard.com, and as always, check out our YouTube page. This is the Dove. We'll see you next time.